All right, so today we're going to be looking at spheres and hemispheres. So, do you guys know what shape is a sphere? What is it? It's kind of like a ball, right? A sphere is a ball shape. Oh, thank you. It's a ball shape. Um, is it because you guys are saying circle, but a circle is two-dimensional, like it's just flat. Yes. It's just a flat two-dimensional, but a sphere is three-dimensional, so a three-dimensional would be like a ball shape. And then a hemisphere, what do you guys think a hemisphere is? It would be like half of a ball, right? Kind of. It's like if I were to take an orange and I cut an orange in half, each half would be a hemisphere, okay? So this hemisphere would be like half a sphere, basically, is what it means. Oh, my pen is gonna die on me, I think. Okay, let me see. It's gonna be half a sphere, basically, is what it means. And you can think of it again, like I said, an orange kind of cut in half. Each piece would be called a hemisphere. So for the formula wise, there's not really a specific net for it. Like if I were to take a ball and like pop a basketball, for example, and I tried to like unfold it, there's no specific shape for a sphere. And so really it's more equivalent to like the area of 4 circles. So the surface area of a sphere, I would multiply, like pi r squared is the area of a circle, right? But then I'm just going to multiply by 4. It's equivalent to like 4 circles. So then all we need really for the surface area of a sphere is the radius. R is the radius of the sphere. And notice on the formula sheet that I gave you guys, you don't have a surface area of the sphere, but you have the surface area of a circle. So just remember it's 4 circles. So you would do 4 times pi r squared. Okay. And again, note there's no true net for a sphere, but the calculation for a surface area is the same as finding the area of 4 circles with the same radius as the sphere. So then the radius, notice like on the picture, and it's kind of hard to see maybe, it's from like if I had a basketball, it would be like the very, very center, even though it's like narrow on the, hollow on the inside. It would be the dead center to like the edge of the basketball. And anything from the center to the edge would be the radius, okay? So really kind of like the net, even though it's not really the net, it's just equivalent to like 4 circles, okay? And then a hemisphere is basically, again, like an orange. If I cut it in half, that would be considered a hemisphere. And then the radius is going to be from the center of the circle to the edge of the hemisphere. And then again, there's no true net for a hemisphere, but the calculation is equivalent to finding the area of 3 circles. So 3 circles instead of 4. And I know people kind of get confused with that because the sphere is 4 pi r squared, so you think half of it would be 2 pi r squared. However, you have now the base at the bottom. So the base at the bottom of my hemisphere, when I cut it, now I have this base at the bottom, so that's actually going to be 3 pi r squared because the hemisphere would be the 2, but then you have the bottom is another circle, so it would be a 3 pi r squared, okay? So surface area of a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared because it's 3 circles. And then all we need is r is the radius for my formula. If I have the radius, then I can find the surface area, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and look at our first example. And our first example here says, estimate the surface area of 7 beach balls to the nearest 10th. So notice, is this a sphere or a hemisphere? A sphere is a full ball, right? So the beach balls is really going to be a sphere. And then notice it has 7 beach balls. So then I'm going to multiply my answer by 7 at the end, okay? And again, I don't really have a net, but it would be a circle. And then I'm going to actually end up with 4 circles because it's a sphere, okay? So I'm going to really have 4 circles for my net. And then notice I have this bolded line across from side to side. Green's not good. Do you guys see this pink right here? I'm trying to make it stand out more, but I think I made it worse. So we have that bolded line in the middle. What is that called? The diameter or the radius? Diameter is 15 because it's going all the way across, right? So then what would be our radius in this example? 7.5. Good, because we have to cut it in half, right? So then I know that my radius from here to here is 7.5. So the area of a circle, remember, is pi r squared. But then I have 4 of them. So for my surface area, it's going to be 4 times pi times the radius, 7.5 squared. And I'm just going to plug that whole thing in the calculator just like it shows up like that, okay? So 4 pi, parentheses, 7.5 x squared equals, and then see what you guys get on the calculator. Thank you. I heard Gabriella. Can you guys verify? What did you guys get over here? Okay, good. And remember here, you do not want to round anything. Just leave it. So 706.85. I know it keeps going, right? Dot, 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 dot. Do not clear the calculator. You're going to take that answer and then just put times 7 on the calculator. Because we have 7 beach balls, so you multiply by 7. And that'll be your final answer for the 7 beach balls. Okay, so go ahead and multiply by 7 and then check the answer with your partner. See what did you guys get. And then this answer is the one you round to the nearest 10. Okay. Do you guys have an answer? 4,948.00. So just 0.0, or you can just say 4,948. And then our unit is in inches, but it's area, so we say inches squared. And then don't forget to write a sentence. So we would say the surface area, or the SA for surface area, of 7 beach balls is about 4,948 square inches. Yes? 4? That's just because the formula for the sphere is equivalent to 4 circles. We don't really have a net, but it's the calculation is like 4 circles. So that's why we do 4 pi r squared. So here really it's a circle, but then I have 4 of them. So then it's 4 pi r squared on the formula. And then again, we multiply by 7 because we were looking for 7 beach balls. Okay, let's look at our next example. This next one says we have the igloo is roughly shaped like a hemisphere. Estimate the surface area of the igloo, including the bottom, to the nearest tenth. So this is a full hemisphere covered from top to bottom. So we're estimating the surface area of a hemisphere. But a hemisphere, again, is half of a sphere. But then I have to include the bottom. So because I am including the bottom, this is really going to be 3 circles. Okay, hemisphere is equivalent to calculating 3 areas, the area of 3 circles. Okay. And so in this case, notice I have this 7 feet right here, and I have the bolded line. It's going from kind of the center to the edge. So is that the radius or the diameter? The radius. It's only half of the length, so then that means the radius is going to be 7 in my circle. And again, I'm doing it for 3 circles, and the area of a circle is pi r squared. And because I have 3 of them, I have my formula is going to be 3 pi times r squared. So 3 pi times 7 squared for my hemisphere. And this one, I am only calculating it for 1 igloo. So whatever you get, that's going to be your answer to this problem. So calculator, you're going to do 3 pi parentheses 7x squared. Okay, and double check with the person sitting next to you. And then we're running to the nearest tenth. Okay, so what did you guys get for your answer? 461.8. Okay, thank you. And then our units is feet, but it's area, so we would say feet squared. And then our sentence, we would say the surface area of the igloo is about 461.8 square feet. Okay, so those are our 2 shapes for today, a sphere and a hemisphere. And then sometimes it tells you to multiply by a specific value. Like the previous one, we're looking for 7 beach balls, so at the end multiply by 7. In this case, we were only finding it for 1 igloo, so whatever we got was our final answer. Okay.